Hi there. I welcome you to day 20. And the topic for today is adjectives and adverbs. Now, what are adjectives? Let me tell you what are adjectives, what are adverbs, where you can use them, and how you can easily identify them so that you can start using them in your day to day speech. Okay? First of all, an adjective talks about a noun, meaning an adjective adds more meaning to a noun. What is a noun? A name, a place, an animal, or a thing. So if it's one of these four, then it's a noun. And an adjective adds more meaning to a noun. It better describes a noun. Let's take a look at what is an adverb. An adverb talks about a verb, meaning an adverb describes a verb or adds more meaning to a verb. Now, what is a verb? A word that shows action is a verb, correct? Now that you know what's the definition and what it describes, let's take a look at a few examples. The first example is I have an expensive car. The subject here, I, is also a noun. Okay, it's I is a subject. It's also called a noun. And here, the noun, it's a common noun. And I have an expensive car. So what do I have? I have a car. What is another noun? Car. It is a common noun. And car, how is the car? It's an expensive car. It's not a cheap car. It's an expensive car. Whether it's cheap or expensive, still what I'm trying to say is the word expensive better describes the car, which is the noun, and so expensive becomes the adjective in this sentence. Take a look at the next sentence. An old man walks slowly. So, who walks slowly? An old man. He walks slowly. How is the old man walking? Slowly. So, the word slowly better describes the word walks, and hence, slowly is an adverb here. Now that you know how to identify what's a verb, what's an adjective, what's a noun, what's a subject, you know, you will be better able to identify the other upcoming exercises. Okay, let's take a look. Seriously and quickly are adverbs. Many adverbs are formed simply by adding ly to the end of the adjective. So, for example, take a look at a few adjectives called quick, serious, careful, quiet, heavy, bad. These are all adjectives, and if you add ly to the adjective, it becomes an adverb. Wow, isn't that great? So, quick becomes quickly, seriously, carefully, quietly, heavily, badly. So all these are adverbs. Very subtle difference, just an ly changes the whole perspective. It changes the whole ball game from becoming an adjective, it becomes an adverb. So you need to know and be able to identify adjective and adverb. Let's take a look. Here, the difference between adjective and adverb, again, as I told you, adjectives quick, careful, etc., they tell us more or they better describe a noun. More than saying it tells us more about a noun, I would say it describes a noun. So it's very easy. Somebody or something. Now, we also use adjectives before the noun. So let's take a look at what are the adjectives that come before the noun. Sam is a careful driver. So Sam is an adjective, Sam is a noun here. It's also the subject. Driver is a noun, and the word that comes before the noun is careful. Driver is a noun, and what type of a driver is Sam? He's a careful driver. You cannot say carefully because if you say carefully, it becomes an adverb. And so, since the word careful adds more meaning to the driver, this is the adjective here, and that is why we say Sam is a careful driver, and that is why we do not use this particular phrase there. Okay, next one. We didn't go out because of the heavy rain. Now, take a look here. Rain again here is the noun. We didn't go out because of the rain. What adds more meaning to the rain? The rain was heavy. So, since the word heavy adds more meaning to the noun, this becomes the adjective. Understood? Let's move on. Adverbs like quickly, carefully, etc., they add more meaning to the verb. meaning it tells us or gives us more information about the word. Somebody does something or something happens. It's an action word, right? And Sam drove carefully along the narrow road. How did Sam drive? He drove carefully. And so, because the word carefully adds more meaning to the verb, carefully becomes the adverb here. Understood? Very good. Sam is the subject and the road is the noun. Now, Sam drove carefully, and so because drove is the verb, carefully adds more meaning to the verb, adverb is there. Let's take a look at another sentence. We didn't go out because it was raining heavily. Take a look at the word raining. Raining here is the um, actual word. Okay, it's showing action. It's raining heavily. And because it's raining, it's a continuous action and it is heavily. Heavily becomes the adverb as it better describes the verb. Okay, now you know how to identify adverbs and adjectives. Let's take a look at adverb. The split of adverb is she is the subject. It's also a common noun. She speaks English. How does she speak? She speaks perfect English. So, English is the noun. She is also a common noun. It is also a subject. Sometimes you will not find a noun, then in that case, the subject becomes the noun. So that is why I'm helping you to identify and I'm telling this is a subject, it is also called a noun. It's not here to confuse you, but for you to understand. Okay, so in cases, there are some cases where you will know that she is also the noun. Okay, so that is why I'm helping you identify. So she is a subject, it's also a common noun, and speaks is the verb. How does she speak? What does she speak? She speaks English, and so English is the noun, and because perfect adds more meaning to English, perfect becomes the adjective, and English is the noun. Okay, let's take a look at adjectives that comes after verbs of after some verbs, especially be, look, feel, sound, etc. So please be quiet. Please be polite. Don't be greedy. So if you see here the word greedy, polite, quiet, jealous, all these are adjectives as they add more meaning to the noun. In fact, here there's no noun, but it's just a statement, a command given. And here this adds more meaning, and that is why they are adjectives. Let's take a look at the sentence, past tense, okay, phrase where they were happy. So, who, take a look here. There's just one simple sentence as I told you. Who was happy? They. They is the subject in this case, and they is also the noun. How were they? They were happy. So, happy adds more meaning to they, and that is why they, happy is the adjective. Okay, he was upset. Sorry, he was upset, and upset is the adjective because it adds more meaning to the noun. He is the subject. It is also a common noun, and because upset adds more meaning to the common noun, it becomes an adjective. Take a look at look. I'm just going to give you one sentence. There are a couple of other sentences for you to read and practice and write it down so that you will learn these small phrases, easy phrases, memorize them. You can start using them in your day to day speech. This will help you to become, and move on to the next level. So start practicing them. Let's say you look gorgeous. How do you look? You is the subject. It is also a common noun. And you look gorgeous. Because gorgeous adds more meaning to the noun, you say gorgeous is an adjective. Let's talk about feelings. If I say he doesn't feel ashamed of himself, so he is the subject and a common noun. Ashamed is actually, you know, the noun, the adjective, I'm sorry, he is the subject and common noun, and ashamed adds more meaning to the noun, and so that is why ashamed is the adjective. Again, ashamed is adding more meaning to the noun, which is he. How is he feeling? He. Who is feeling ashamed? He is feeling ashamed. Okay, and that is why it's adding more meaning to the noun, and ashamed is an adjective. Now, there are a couple of other sentences. Again, I want you to practice them. As and when you practice, you will be able to better identify. If you have any questions, pause the video and read the example and try to identify like this: which is the subject, which is the verb, which is the noun. Sometimes the noun, it's the subject. Okay, it will be a common noun, and then you will be able to better identify, because now I've taught you how you can identify. Let's take a look at sounds and feelings. So let's say she doesn't sound impressed. So she again is the subject. It is also a common noun. And so she is impressed. So because impressed adds more meaning to the noun, impressed becomes the adjective here. Now, I would like you to go through the other sentences here, which are short, sweet, and easy to memorize. You can also use them as and when it's required. So let's take a look at adverb. The split up of adverb is she speaks English perfectly. So she is the subject, also a common noun. Speaks is the verb. English is the noun, and perfectly adds more meaning to the verb. How does she speak? She speaks perfectly, and because perfectly adds more meaning to the word perfectly becomes an adverb here. Let's take a look at a few adverbs that comes after the noun or the verb. So please speak quietly. How should you speak? Quietly, because quietly adds more meaning to the verb. Quietly is the adverb. So I want you to go through these three sentences and memorize them so that you could use them. Remember, these short, sweet, and awesome phrases that you could use to show off your vocabulary. Again, also learn the right way of pronouncing things. Okay? We can also use certain adverbs before adjectives, like cheap, reasonably. So reasonably becomes the adverb, cheap is the adjective here. Likewise, let's take a look at an example. The exam was surprisingly easy. So the exam here is the noun, and how was the exam? The exam was easy, and so easy becomes the adjective. And surprisingly, how was it like? It was surprisingly easy, and because surprisingly adds more meaning to the verb, surprisingly is the adverb here. So I hope you are happy with this. Please go through the other sentences, identify which is actually the noun, I'm sorry, which is actually the adjective, and which is the adverb. I've marked the adjectives in yellow and the adverbs in green so that you can better identify them. Okay, well, let's move on. Now comes bonus section. Here we've given you a couple of sentences so that you can split which is the subject, which is the noun, which is a common noun, which is a verb, which adds more meaning to the noun, which adds more meaning to the verb. So identify the adjective and the adverb. Now I'm going to give you two examples. The others are for you to do and practice at home. Okay, let's take the first one. We didn't go out because it was raining. So let's say it was raining heavily, and let's see here. There's one um, verb here already in the first sentence, but then we're not worried about this particular sentence. You take a look at the subclause here. It was raining heavily. So raining is the actual verb, okay, showing action. And how is it raining? It was raining heavily. And so because heavily adds more meaning to the verb, heavily becomes an adverb here. Let's take a look at, okay, all of them are adverbs. So let's take a look at the second sentence. Our team lost the game because we played very badly. So how did we play? We played badly, and so badly adds more meaning to the verb, and so badly becomes the adverb here. I hope you better understood so how what things are, but I'll break them down. Our team is a noun here, and in this particular first clause here, our team is a noun, lost is a verb. Also, okay, game is a noun, then we becomes a subject, it is also a common noun. Who played? we played. And how did we play? We played badly. So badly becomes the adverb here. Okay, I want you to do the answers are given for you, but I want you to write down, read them with the pronunciation, and practice at home so that you can use these correct sentences if it's necessary, right? Isn't that cool and awesome? So please practice them at home. The next sentence is put the correct word. Now what they've done is they've given you two words here. Okay, they've given one which is an adjective and another one is an adverb. We want you to choose according to the given sentence. Let's take a look at the first two. I'm going to do the first two for you, and we want you to practice the others at home. Notice this particular exercise has both adjectives and adverbs mixed. So you will have to really break down the sentence to see which is a subject, which is a common noun, which is a noun, which is a verb, which adds more meaning to the verb, which is an adverb, and which adds more meaning to the noun, which is an adjective. Okay. Now, two people were seriously injured in the accident. Okay, so why is seriously in green? Because that is the adverb. It adds more meaning to the verb. What are the verbs here? Were, injured. Okay, so this is, were and injured is the describing verb, and so seriously adds more meaning to the injured. Okay, so that is the actionable word, and so this becomes the adverb here. Okay, you cannot say two people were serious injured, which is wrong. Okay, the next sentences, take a look. Both of them have similar verbs, so that is why I'm going to do the first two for you, and the others I want you to identify. Take a look at the second sentence. The driver had serious injuries. So here, let me break down the first exercise for you. Sorry, the first sentence for you. Two people. Okay, so people is the noun, and the people were seriously injured. This were injured is the verb, and seriously adds more meaning to the verb, and that's why there's an adjective. I'm sorry, there is an adverb here. My bad. And that is why there's an adverb here, because the seriously adds more meaning to the verb. In the second sentence, take a look. The driver is the subject, it is also the noun here. The driver had serious injuries. So what happened to the driver? The driver had injuries. And what are injuries? Injuries are the here, this is another noun. Okay, it's like a wound. Okay, it's like a boil. What did the driver had? The driver had a wound. Okay, and the wound is another noun. And because how was the wound? The wound is very serious. Okay, and that is the reason why seriously is an adjective, because it adds more meaning to the noun. Okay, so I hope you know the difference as to why that became the noun. I'm sorry, this became the adjective, and this, in the first sentence, this became the adverb. Okay, I have highlighted everything that's in green. Okay, see, green is the adverb, everything that's in yellow is the adjective, and I've also highlighted the words so that you will know which is the noun and verb, and you will be able to practice it at home. Please practice it. We've given you the answers. It's for you to understand, read, pronounce, and memorize the right sentences at the same time. Okay? So all these are for you. I will show to you slowly so that you could pause and read it for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to show you the sentences from the sixth one till the ninth one. Again, you need to pause and read out the sentences loudly, write them out so that you will be able to identify. Take a look here. It looks safe. Okay, let's say, for example, they're trying to cross a bridge. Okay, and you're saying the bridge looks safe. Okay, so what is the noun here? The bridge is the noun. It's also the subject. It's also a common noun. The bridge also can be it. Okay, it. Okay, the it refers to the bridge. So, for example, if they're trying to cross a bridge, they say it doesn't look safe. Okay, let's say a couple is crossing the bridge. It doesn't look safe. What doesn't look safe? The bridge doesn't look safe, and because safe adds more meaning to the common noun, which is it, and in this case it is a bridge. I'm just giving you an example. It could be anything. The ladder doesn't look safe. Let's say a person is trying to climb a ladder, and I'm saying it doesn't look safe. What doesn't look safe? The ladder doesn't look safe. And I'm using uh, the pronoun it instead of saying the ladder doesn't look safe. In the next sentence, I'm just saying it doesn't look safe. And so, because safe adds more meaning to the noun, it becomes an adjective here. Okay, so I want you to go through these sentences at home, practice it, memorize it, and learn it. Okay, now we need to complete, okay, using a word. You need to choose a word from the box and you have to put it in the right place, whether it's an adjective or whether it's an adverb. Okay, if it comes with ly, it becomes an adverb. If it's without the y, then it becomes an adjective. Okay, simple as that. Example, let me tell you, financial is an adjective and financially is an adverb. Okay, that's just an example. So I'm going to do two for you. I want you to do you. I'm sorry. I want you to do the others at home. Okay, so practice. Let's take a look at the first two. Our holiday was too short, okay, and the time passed very quickly. So the time is the year. Here it takes the noun form, okay. The time passed. How did the time pass? It passed very quickly, because quickly adds more meaning to the verb. Okay, here quickly becomes the adverb. Okay, and past is the verb here. Okay, our holiday, again, this is just for your explanation. How did the time pass? Where did it pass? To give you a better understanding, we've given you a short explanation. Our holiday was short. So our holiday is the actual noun, it's also the subject, and was too short. Okay, so how was it? It was short. Our holiday was short. Okay, and in the second sentence, you have the adverb giving more meaning to the actual word. Okay, so you can choose the word from here. Okay, I told you anything that comes with ly becomes the very good. Anything that adds ly becomes the adverb. Now, take a look at the next sentence. Steve doesn't take risk when he is driving. Who's driving? Steve is driving. So he is a subject. It is also the common noun. So he is always careful. How is he? He's careful. And that is the reason why, since careful adds more meaning to the noun, careful becomes an adjective. Okay, so now you know where to use adjectives, where to use adverbs, how you can easily identify them with just the ly or without the ly. I want you to go through these other sentences, memorize them, read them carefully, write them down, because these are different sentences, different verbs, different scenarios given for you to better understand, and you can use them in your day-to-day speech. You don't have to use all the verbs. You don't have to use all the phrases. But if there is an occasion, if there is a necessity, please feel free to use these sentences as they are grammatically correct and they show a high vocabulary. Okay? Right, let's move on. There's like three more sentences here. So please pause the video and practice these sentences too. Now the next exercise is you need to choose two words. Okay, there are two boxes. This is the first box. Okay, this box has all the adverbs in it. And this is the second box. This has the adjectives in it. We want you to choose one adverb, one adjective, and write them down in the dash. Okay, we have done everything for you. Nevertheless, I'm going to read two for you, and the others I want you to practice at home. So, the first one is I thought the restaurant would be expensive, but it was reasonably cheap. Very easy to identify. Reasonably is the adverb, and cheap becomes the adjective. Very good, because it adds more meaning to the noun, and expensive is also an adjective. Very good, but because it's not given in the box, I have not highlighted it. Okay, You have to distinctly take two words from the box. Try mix matching it, see if it works. We've given you the right answers here so that you don't have to fumble. Nevertheless, learn them, practice them, memorize them. It's absolutely necessary. Okay. Then the next one. Will's mother is seriously ill in the hospital. Obviously, seriously is the adverb. It adds more meaning to the verb. And ill is the adjective as it talks about the noun. Okay, so now that you know which is an adverb, which is an adjective, how to use it, how to identify them, learn these exercises, these sentences, so that you can use them. All right, so I will let you go now and enjoy the rest of your day. But before that, we've come to the end of the session today, and let's talk about the task of day 20. The task for today is an embarrassing moment. So, have you ever encountered an embarrassing moment? I would like to tell you an embarrassing situation that I had met when I was a student. Okay, I was literally standing on the road trying to wait. I was waiting for a bus and to board it and go to college. Okay, this was when I was doing my master's and I was wearing a frock. Okay, so I was standing right in the middle of the road, and a car had just whizzed past by, and it had something sticking out. I didn't notice it, and I'm sure the driver of the car didn't recognize that too. It came so close that the thing that was sticking out just ripped off my dress. Okay, and a part of my dress that went off with the car like a flag. It was waving, and it was such an embarrassing moment because I was standing right on the road and people were just looking, and like a part of my dress was missing. It was really embarrassing. Of course, I had an in skirt and shorts, so I was able to come home. I had like big books. I was like literally covering the torn part, but it was very embarrassing at that point of time. Think I was like sad for about half an hour. Okay, but then I just got over it and quickly moved on with my life. I'm a very cool person. I do not dwell on something. I'm not worried about what people think because they are not going to help us when we need help. Okay, so I work for myself. I don't have to be bothered about what other people think about me, what they're judging me for, because I am what I am. If I have to do something, I have to do it. If I cannot do something, I'm going to still be responsible. So I'm not going to pay attention to what other people think of me or say about me. Now, I want you, this is my example, okay? But I want you to tell us an embarrassing moment. What was it? And why do you think this particular incident happened? Did it have an impact on your life? If yes, tell us the reason why. If no, again, tell us the reason why, because I would love to hear your point of view. I want to see you talking, arguing, using all the vocabulary that we have been teaching you all this while. Okay, so what is it that defines you, your character? Do you think about other people's judgments? Do you take other people's comments seriously? Or are you the type of person, it's like, I don't care, I work for myself, and I'm going to keep my opinion, which is the best. So let us know your point of view. Shoot a video, minimum 2 minutes, a maximum of 5 minutes. Post it on Facebook and get your feedback. I look forward to seeing your homework. Thank you so much for watching today's video. You have a wonderful day. Bye for now.